You could do whatever you like. If you want to say something, say something. I'm gonna make this video about birth control and the implementation of birth control in our society and how it is um, affected and manipulated the hormones of the collective energies, both masculine and feminine. Now, birth control, simplified, birth control being taken by mass groups of women affects the feminine energy on a major scale, which in turn affects the masculine energy as well.
Okay.
So, from my perspective, what I know about birth control is that, like you said, or just what I know about women on that period. In the period is time where a woman can't have a baby, so pretty much the period symptoms and all the stuff that happen on the period is what's happening on birth control. So, roller coaster emotions, pretty much roller coaster feelings. Hormonal imbalance meaning extreme femininity. You know, that's when a female is on her period and she's sad and she just wants to listen to music and cry and eat fucking cookies and sweets and shit like that. So extreme femininity,
Okay.
as well as extreme masculinity, like, oh, this fucking pain is hurting me, and I just want to punch something and just the raw type of shit. So, because men live their lives, or we have lived our lives in the patriarchy. We lived our lives based off of women. You get a job, you do what you do so that you can please a woman and have a good woman, you know? You live like a baller so you can have access to more women and better women and women. Y'all were the goal for the masculine energy. Y'all set the precedence. So, with y'all being so hormonally imbalanced for so long, which is extreme masculinity and extreme femininity. So now the men is just like either fucking toxic,
Confused.
toxic,
Oh.
toxic masculine, which is the raw shit. You know, you want the raw shit, the Ray Ray Pookie shit is what they call it. You know.
Well, I don't remember who said this, but I don't think that you should say toxic masculinity. I think it's just toxic people. I think Isis Wisdom said that. It's not toxic masculinity, it's toxic people. It's not toxic femininity, it's toxic people. Because there are people who aren't toxic and they still dealing with the same types of people that the toxic people are.
Well, I'm speaking on toxic masculinity particularly because to me it does exist. There are masculine traits that get amplified beyond what's necessary, and that's toxic.
Yes, that person is toxic.
Toxic in their masculine traits, in a masculine way, yes. Toxic masculine, as there is also a toxic feminine. I'm speaking on toxic masculinity first.
Okay.
It created toxic masculinity in man. You know, fucking, if you feeling like I can't take this fucking period and these cramps and you are disgruntled and irritable, etc., well, the man being by your side or men coexisting with you also have to deal with your fucking emotion. Yeah, we get pissed the fuck off having to deal with that shit after so long and express that. Oh my God, this mother, and you know, shit, that's just how it is, and that creates a toxic masculine, if you ask me. At the same time, the masculine energy coexisting and cohabiting the energy space of this planet, this plane, when y'all in y'all's super feminine from the hormonal imbalance of birth control and periods and stuff like that, when y'all going through the feminine time of depression and weakness and sadness and loneliness and et cetera, well, still, we still got to be here with you. And for it to be pleasant for us, it need to be pleasant for y'all. So this creates beta male energy. So, oh, let me just take care of you, feel me? You know, I love you, I do love you, I want to give you whatever the fuck that you need. It's going to help you to be happy, et cetera, et cetera. And then comes the video, the alpha in love. What women want, they want an alpha man, the toxic masculine type, the motherfucker go-getter type, the raw. They want the raw shit because, you know, they experienced
Is that
that.
toxic though? Is that toxic for us to want you to be in your natural energy, which is the protector, the provider, the one who...
You want to, just like I was finna say, because y'all can experience that energy, because y'all experience that energy in so extremes during the period or during just hormonal imbalance from birth control, because y'all experience the extreme masculine, and you know what it feels like, and you know what it's capable of doing, et cetera, you want your man, and you need your man to be able to tap into that energy if it's necessary, so he can, shit, connect with you, maybe put you in your place, et cetera, et cetera. You know that y'all know you being a bitch. I'm gonna just say that shit. Sometimes women be being a bitch, and they know that they being a bitch, and they just want to see if you gonna say that you being a bitch right now. You acting out of character. You need to chill the fuck out. If they just want to know if you gonna check them. Period. Can you match my frequency? Type of shit. Can you exceed my frequency? Type of shit. That's just life. So yeah, they look for that. That's the alpha characteristics of a masculine, and that's what is looked for in men by a woman. That's the alpha part of it. But the in love part of it, can or will he also be in love with me? Can he also tone that down for me and take care of me if it's necessary, et cetera, and make me the trophy? Birth control and periods. That's all I got to say. What you want to say?
So I agree with what you said, and it definitely has been a chemical imbalance. As someone who used to be on birth control, 3 different types: the one that implants in your arm, the pills, and the ones that go up your uterus. Each one affects you basically the same, but I would say, honestly, the pill is the best one, and that's just it's still all evil, because there is the side effects, which are weight gain, is erratic periods, is irritability, mood swings, it is loss of appetite, gain of appetite, extreme cramps. I'm trying to remember. Like, literally, if you just go get like a birth control bottle, or you read the paper, like, it will literally tell you all of this that I'm saying. So it's like we knowingly are saying, hey, so we won't have a baby, instead of practicing safe sex or no sex, instead of just having the man put on a condom. We're like, no, it's okay. We're gonna just fuck up everything inside of us and be irritable to ourselves and everyone else around us, just so we don't have a baby. And
Which is also taking you out of your femininity, because your role is to produce the offspring and the babies.
yes, that's very true.
So, which is taking you away from your feminine. Everything is just, everything is equilibrium. If you're going away from the feminine, then you're going more toward the masculine.
Yes, and one of the other side effects is low libido. So even if you have this birth control and saying, I'm doing this so I don't have a baby, I mean, it works great, because low libido means you're not going to want to really have sex anyway. So you got to deal with that. And men probably thinking like, oh, she just want to be controlling with sex, and she always say I'm not in the mood, but then expect me to be in the mood when she in the mood. Understandable, but when you are operating off of birth control and it's just like you just genuinely don't have the urge to have sex, when you actually feel like you want to have sex, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting, like I'm actually in this energy, let me go ahead and let him know. And then if he on the, I won't say pettiness, but on the, I'm not in the mood either, then you just like, oh, this one time that I'm actually in the mood, and then you get irritated, irritability kicks in, and then it's just this whole thing, when really I'm getting high energy. Really, it's all just hormonal imbalance, like you said, that's just messing with both of us. Which I'm glad that I don't take birth control anymore. And I know that it's been like, how long has it been? Like a year or 2? How long has it been? So taking birth control for 7 years. 7 years. Like, some people take it longer, some people take it shorter. I don't know. But just from my 7 years of taking birth control, going through those things that I listed, and then being off of birth control, like, that's 7 years of me taking birth control. So my body is still removing the birth control that was in there. yes, I was able to have a child, but still, like, the hormonal imbalances, like, all of that has still been in me. So I personally think that I've been doing better with just my energy, my irritability.
7 years. Hold on, because you kind of making a point.
Okay. I started birth control when I was 20 or 21.
Okay,
What was I? 20 or
but
21.
let's look at this mathematically, 'cause since you are doing math.
Okay.
When a woman starts her period, when a female starts to become a woman and has a period, that is her physiologically starting her feminine energy cycle. Like before that, yes, she was carrying, not masculine, but feminine energy, and she was living feminine and the feminine energy around her. However, it wasn't becoming activated within her body, within her mind. Her physiology and her hormones didn't match that. But she starts to get the hormones, 12, 13, or whatever. It could be getting lower and lower every year. How soon, I think that what is also important in all of this, long story short, is how long a woman or a female has been in her natural feminine cycle before she started birth control. Because if you got your period at 13, but then you started birth
Okay,
control
I'm gonna
at
talk about
20.
me.
Okay.
So I got my period at 12,
Okay.
and
So you had 8 years of cycles before you started birth control. Then you
yes.
went 7 years of birth control. Well,
So I like that we're having this conversation, because I had heard so many things like women get on their period and they become bitches, they become like all of this. So when I heard this at a very young age, I'm like, I'm gonna be super nice during my period. Like, I'm gonna make sure they know, like, I'm not that type of person. And I was very nice. I was honestly pretty much the same person that I was off my period for those first 8 years. But then when I started taking birth control, slowly I became more and more irritable during my period. And I'm just like super impatient. I'm just like, oh my God, like these people. And I know that this is true because the people I used to work with, they'll be like, Kelly, the only reason that we know you're on your period is because you eat chocolate. Like, they used to say that to me in the beginning. But then by like the second year mark of me taking birth control, they're like, all right, Kelly, you got it. I understand what time this is. You ain't got to worry about nothing. Like, we ain't bothering you.
well, this is perfect. This is a perfect example of what the fuck I be trying to talk to you about in reference to gang stalking. It's like, yeah, it's cool. Like you said, don't let it bother you. I mean, it's cool. It's cool when the period of gang stalking is just for, a week. You got to go through the bullshit for a week, but then you get 21 other days. So, shit, just live life and not have to worry about that shit. But then when it's motherfucking constant and it ain't fucking stopping, yeah, now I'm getting a little motherfucking irritable having to deal with this motherfucking shit.
I understand.
So,
I don't know.
for
For 8 years,
for
I
like
was free.
normal, normal. All right, I go off of lunar. I made the determination that I go off the lunar calendar because I think that it's the more.
So when I first started, my first 8 years of periods was regular. It was a week. It was 7 days. But then when I got the Nexplanon went into my arm. When I got the Nexplanon, it was supposed to last for 3 years. But within my first year of having it, like, my periods went from 7 days to 30 days at average and 60 days at the most. And I'm just like, what is this? Who bleeds for 60 days and doesn't die? Like, what kind? I'm already bleeding for 7 days and don't die. Like, you amping that up.
I'm gonna interrupt you and I'm gonna go back to what I was saying. That is ridiculous, but I think that the normal feminine cycle is, which, like I said, I'm going off the motherfucking lunar calendar and the lunar periods because to me that is more truthful. So a lunar cycle is 28 days. 28 times 13 is 365. 13 zodiac signs. Anyway, a lunar month is 28 days. Well, if you have your period for 7 days, that's only one quarter. 7, 14, 21, 28.
Well, technically
7,
it's like
14,
half.
21, 28.
It's like 2 weeks because you have the pre-week and then you have the week. So you have the prep, kind of like with the baby, like you start to lose your mucus plug and you start to really get contractions and stuff like that. Then you actually like go through the birthing process and all of that. It's
I
like,
got you.
that's the prep. It's like you kind
Everything.
of get symptoms and
Nature
signs
gives a
of-
warning.
Yes, nature gives a warning. So maybe like 2 weeks out of the 28.
Just like fall, you start to see the leaves falling and stuff like that, and as the weather changes, it's a progressive thing.
But
Okay.
you start
Even-
to get like the symptoms and stuff and maybe the irritability, but you don't actually start bleeding. And then you start bleeding and
Well,
then you're good.
I'm gonna do my math based off of your math, but I'm gonna use my math too.
Okay.
So let's go with the 7-day theory.
Okay.
The woman's natural cycle, and with the 7-day period, is that for 7 days out of the 28, because like I said, I'm going off of lunar months, for 7 days, which is one quarter, a quarter of the month, a woman has to deal with being in the masculine energy. She has to carry that frequency to be aware and understand kind of like what the masculine is going through, you feel me? Because you got to tap into that energy the same way masculine has to tap into the feminine energy.
Give me an example. What you talking about? Why is that the time where we have to be aware and tap into our masculine energy?
Because one, you can't have a baby. First of all, your role as a feminine to have a baby and reproduce is taken away from you. Second of all, you have to deal with the cramps, which is the internal like war type of shit. Martian, that's masculine energy, that's war. Plus, hormonal imbalance. That's just what it is. That's just what the fuck it is.
Okay. Track it. Thank you.
So when you period, you have to deal with the masculine energy. You have to vibrate and resonate in the masculine energy. If we're going with 7 days, that's a quarter of the time.
Okay.
So, but 3/4 of the time, you're operating in your feminine. So you get a good amount of feminine qualities. Submission, artistic expression, love, nurturing, all that type of shit. 3/4 of it, you experience the masculine a little bit, but mostly you're feminine. That's based off the 7 days. But if you going based off what you said, it's even more balanced. If you're saying it's 2 weeks, if it's 14 days out of the 28, that's half the time. Half the time, you kind of resonate with the masculine. Half the time, you resonate with the feminine. So you got a good balance, equilibrium with what's going on in real life. You can connect to men can connect to you. It's everything good. But with birth control, now you're supposed to be having this cycle in which you experience the masculine for this amount of time, then the majority of the time, if not perfectly even, you're in your feminine. But birth control comes in and just completely says, no, you're going to live in your motherfucking masculine for like you said, 28, 56, 2 whole moon cycles, potentially.
Yeah, it depends. Well, actually, I did a lot of research after I was so young and dumb. But anyway, after I got the Nexplanon, whatever it was, it's the same thing. One for 3 years, one for 5. And apparently 30 to 90 day periods was like a thing for people. And I'm just like, why wouldn't they tell me this when I said that this is what I wanted? Like, why would they not tell you like the most prominent negative about this thing before they say, all right, cool, well, you want it, versus them being like, okay, well, if this is the one you want, whatever. Like, I understand you should be doing your own research, absolutely. But if you are supposed to be the physician, if you're supposed to be the doctor or whatever the case you may call yourself, you should at least warn your patients, hey, like, I understand you did this. I don't know if you did your own research, but studies have shown you can have a period for 60 days. And that may be 60 days, and then you get 2 weeks off, and then you get another 60 days. Like, you should at least tell people that.
They give you the pamphlet, don't they?
Let me think about this, because I want to say no.
Before anybody is, my awareness, anybody who receives a medicine prescribed by a doctor, or even over the counter, One, it got a description. It got how you should take it. It got side effects. If you don't receive a paper pamphlet that they printed off at the pharmacy, then you get some kind of booklet or something. It come with that.
After they've given it to me.
I don't know.
I'm talking about a precursor.
That's what I'm saying. You should already have that. They should give you that up front. I hear what you're saying. Did you get a pamphlet? Do you even remember?
I'm
booklet?
pretty sure I did not get anything until afterwards. But if I did,
Well, technically, that's still on you.
yes, it is on me. I'm just saying they should at least try to warn you. Like I said in the beginning, like, of course I should do my own research. Absolutely.
Okay,
But
then
still.
at a minimum, precursor that should tell you do your fucking research.
Yeah. At least do that.
At a minimum,
Just in case.
do your research. Here, take some time and think about it before you make a decision.
Versus
I agree.
just saying, all right, cool, well, this is
But
what you want.
you know, I mean, confidence. You come to the motherfucking doctor's office like, I know this is what I want. Absolutely, ain't no necessary in talking about it. Woo de woo. Confidence. You got that confidence. Hey, okay, I know that you know. It's over with.
That's fair. I was confident about I ain't trying to have no babies.
You know, we had this conversation about this whole, dealing with the legal system and, the players in it and shit like that, confidence. So, birth control and how it has altered society
Yes.
and energies. Anything else?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about me being better. All right. So, like I said, after 7 years of having birth control, I feel like now it's been like at least a year and a half of not having birth control. And I released a lot too when I had our baby. But I feel like I'm getting better with my periods. Like I feel like I said, like it was 8 years or 7 years of taking in all these random hormones and stuff. So my body definitely like still has that inside of me. But I really think that I'm doing better with my irritability and just like getting my hormones in balance like pretty well. Having a stable what is it called? Stable emotions and stable mindset, because man, when you on birth control and you have a period, your mind be all over the place. They talk about baby brain. Period brain is really the thing, because I was fine with my baby brain, but I guess I haven't been taking birth control. How was my periods on birth control versus off birth control? Do you think that my energy was different?
I wasn't paying attention enough to really do the math on that.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that I was doing better, so that's what matters. That's all I wanted to say. Giving myself some kudos.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right.
Get off birth control.
All right.